This week in AI, wow, it felt like trying to catch water in a sieve, didn't it?
Absolutely, just an avalanche of news.
You sent over a really impressive stack of articles in everything from new models, flexing some serious muscle,
Right, the performance benchmarks are getting wild.
to how they're getting baked into everyday tools and even these massive infrastructure plants.
Yeah, the whole spectrum from the foundational stuff to real world application and, well, the money pouring in.
So
Our job today really is to cut through that whirlwind. Let's try and nail down the most significant bits, the interesting developments.
Exactly. Pull out the key takeaways from all the sources you shared, give some clarity without getting too bogged down.
Okay, let's dive right in then. The core powerhouses, the AI models. The competition there seems fiercer than ever.
Definitely. Everyone's pushing the boundaries.
One that really caught my eye was DeepSeek V3. Apparently, it's not just outperforming big names like Llama 3.1 and GPT-4o,
On several benchmarks, yeah.
but they did it with a surprisingly modest training budget, like $5.5 million.
Yeah, that figure really stands out. It kind of challenges that idea that you absolutely need billions and massive compute clusters.
right.
Andrej Karpathy even pointed it out, called it great resource efficient engineering, using fewer GPUs, shorter time frame, apparently.
Which feels like a potential game changer, doesn't it? If smaller labs can compete.
It could definitely open things up, more innovation from more places, plus it's open source.
And with a permissive license too. Well, that's big for developers. Freedom to build on it.
Huge. It fuels adoption and more innovation downstream.
And it wasn't just DeepSeek. We also saw Alibaba's Qwen 2.5 making waves, especially in coding benchmarks, beating some top US models.
That's right. It really highlights that this isn't just a Silicon Valley show anymore. Serious competition is coming from China and elsewhere.
It makes the whole field more dynamic.
Exactly. Different approaches, open source, global competition, it all pushes progress faster for everyone.
Okay, so on the flip side, you've got the established giants, Google DeepMind's Gemini 2.0. That was apparently topping the LM Arena leaderboard now.
Yeah, it's sitting at number 1 currently. And the benchmark scores are pretty staggering.
Like on those math and science tests, AM and GBQA Diamond,
Over 70% accuracy on both. AME is tough math. GPQA Diamond is grad level science questions. Hitting those scores shows real progress in complex reasoning.
so what does that mean practically? Better problem-solving AI.
Potentially, yeah, for research engineering, complex analysis. Plus, they added new stuff. Code execution, that huge 1 million token context window.
A million token, that's massive.
It is, lets it handle much larger documents, more complex instructions, maintain context better. And they mentioned improved consistency too.
Okay, now Meta also made some noise with Maverick AI. It shot up the LM Arena rankings initially. Well,
It did. There was a catch. That was apparently an experimental version, specifically tuned for conversational chat.
so optimized for that specific benchmark.
Seems like it. The standard or vanilla version didn't rank quite as high against models like GPT-4o or Claude 3.5 Sonnet when tested more broadly.
Interesting. Meta said they're experimenting with custom variants. Right?
Yeah. Which points to a trend, maybe. Tailoring models for specific tasks or benchmarks rather than one size fits all.
We might see more of that. Makes sense. Then there's OpenAI. They didn't just launch one model, but a whole GPT 4.1 family.
Right, the standard, a mini, and a nano.
And the focus seems to be squarely on coding and instruction following. They're even claiming it beats GPT-4o on coding tests like SWE Bench.
That specialization is key. Offering different sizes, mini and nano being faster and cheaper, caters to different developer needs.
And they all have that 1 million token context window.
Across the board for the 4.1 family, yes, which is great for handling large code bases or documents.
But there's a trade-off mentioned. Reliability with bigger inputs.
Yeah, they acknowledge that. With really large inputs, performance might dip a bit and it can become more literal, less nuanced. It's an ongoing balancing act.
And, kind of surprising, OpenAI is already phasing out GPT 4.5 from their API. Wasn't that fairly recent?
It was. It's only available until mid-July, apparently. They're pointing developers to 4.1 instead.
Why so quick?
Likely cost and efficiency. They're saying 4.1 offers similar or better performance, especially for coding, at a lower price point. GPT 4.5 was probably very expensive to run and train.
So focusing resources. But 4.5 stays in ChatGPT for subscribers.
For now, yes. Suggests it still has value for interactive chat, but maybe not the best cost performance for API developers compared to 4.1. It just shows how fast things move.
Absolutely. Okay, so a whirlwind on the model front. Let's shift gears. How are these becoming more accessible? integrated into tools?
Good question. We saw FreePic, the creative asset platform, integrating Google's Imagen 3.
Imagen 3, that's their big text image model, right? Supposed to be top tier.
Yeah, reportedly leading the pack, even beating competitors like Recraft V3. Putting that directly into FreePic is huge for designers, creatives.
Lowers the barrier to getting high-quality AI image.
Exactly. Democratizes access.
And speaking of access, OpenAI is looking at potential ID verification for future API use. This verified organization thing.
Yeah. Seems aimed at improving safety, preventing misuse, maybe preventing IP theft.
They mentioned that DeepSeek data incident investigation is part of the reasoning.
Right. So adding a layer of accountability, requiring a government ID for advanced models, it's a significant step towards more responsible deployment.
Makes sense. Anthropic also made moves on accessibility, integrating Claude with Google Workspace.
That's a big one, accessing your Gmail, calendar, docs directly.
How does that differ from, say, ChatGPT's integrations?
The focus seems to be on deeper, more contextual understanding without constant uploads. Claude can, look at your emails and calendar to help organize things.
Like the example of planning family stuff.
Exactly, analyzing schedules across emails and calendars. Plus, they have inline citations back to the workspace source, builds trust.
So, more personalized help based on your actual stuff.
That's the goal, though it can't send emails or schedule meetings for you yet, but the potential is there.
And security must be a huge concern there.
Absolutely. Anthropic emphasize they don't train on that data by default, strong authentication, etc., but users will naturally want assurances.
Anthropic also launched Claude Research. What's that about?
It's designed for deeper dives. It runs multiple web searches to compile more detailed, comprehensive answers.
Like a competitor to OpenAI's and Google's research agents.
Pretty much. They're emphasizing speed and thoroughness, pulling info from many sources quickly. It's available for Max, Team, Enterprise users first.
Okay, and for the free users, OpenAI is giving them access to O3 Mini in ChatGPT.
Yeah, rolling out O3 Mini to the free tier. It's meant to be an upgrade, better reasoning than previous free models. Plus, users get more usage, too.
Spreading the newer tech wider.
It helps get more people experiencing the improvements firsthand.
Then there's Perplexity Assistant launching on Android. That one sounded more like an, action-oriented assistant.
Yeah, integrates reasoning, search, but also hooks into other apps. Booking reservations, calling rides, setting reminders.
So moving beyond just Q&A into doing things.
Exactly, trying to embed the AI more actively into daily phone tasks.
And Notion jumped into the email game with Notion Mail.
Right, an AI-powered client for Gmail, but deeply integrated with Notion itself.
So it's not just about writing emails with AI.
No, the focus seems more on organization. Using AI to sort your inbox, summarize threads, schedule meetings based on emails, search better, all tied into your Notion workspace.
Building a custom inbox with views and auto-labeling.
Yeah, and linking it with Notion Calendar and your knowledge base. Trying to create a unified workflow hub. They have plans for more integrations too.
Interesting. So lots of integration, making AI feel less like a separate tool and more part of the existing workflow.
Definitely a strong theme this week.
Okay, let's spell it again. Specific applications. Atomic, the inventory solution from ex-Tesla folks. That sounds intriguing given Tesla's supply chain history.
It really does, taking lessons learned from those massive scaling challenges and applying AI.
Using agentic AI for inventory planning. What does that mean practically?
It suggests AI agents that can more autonomously analyze data, predict demand, suggest orders, and adapt to disruptions, making planning faster and maybe easier.
And they're seeing results. Inventory reduction, maintaining stock.
That's what their pilot customer reports indicate, significant improvements. They're targeting CPG, food and bev, apparel initially.
And keeping the human planner in control seems key too.
Crucial for adoption. Flexible data model, planner oversight. Their vision is ambitious, supporting basically any company selling physical goods.
Wow. Okay, switching gears completely. Dolphin Gemma from DeepMind, studying dolphin communication.
Yeah, isn't that wild? An AI trained on dolphin sounds from the Wild Dolphin Project.
It runs on a phone, a Pixel.
Efficient enough, yes. The plan is for the researchers to use it to generate synthetic dolphin sounds.
And see if the wild dolphins respond.
Exactly. Listening for replies. It's just a fascinating, out there application of AI for scientific discovery.
Truly incredible. Art underpinning all this. Infrastructure, Project Stargate. The numbers are just mind-boggling. $500 billion.
Over 4 years planned. OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle, It's a colossal bet on US-based AI infrastructure.
What's the driving goal? Just more compute power.
That, but also explicitly framed around securing US leadership in AI, creating jobs, national security, reindustrialization. It's strategic.
With SoftBank financing OpenAI operating tech from ARM, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Oracle.
A huge coalition. Starting in Texas, planning national expansion. It signals the scale needed for the next generation of AI.
And speaking of huge money, Google put another $1 billion into Anthropic.
Yep, separate from another funding round that's coming. Brings Google's total investment to $3 billion.
And Anthropic's valuation is now $60 billion.
Reportedly, yes. It just shows the intensity of this funding race. OpenAI, XAI, Anthropic valuations are soaring.
Anthropic's revenue must be growing fast too.
Estimated annualized run rate around $875 million. So strong demand fueling that valuation. And their CEO, Dario Amodei, stressed how critical AI leadership is for nations.
Which loops back to Stargate's rationale. Okay, data. Always a key issue. Meta training on public EU content now.
Yes, they'd paused due to GDPR concerns, but now they're moving forward.
Training on public Facebook and Instagram posts, comments, interactions with Meta AI.
Right. They say they're following examples like Google and OpenAI. EU users will get notified and have an opt-out form.
But private messages and under 18 data are excluded.
That's what they stated, yes. But it highlights the ongoing tension, and the Irish DPC is still scrutinizing LLM training like with XAI's Grok. It's a live issue.
Definitely. Okay, shifting to AI assistance and personalization. Microsoft's Copilot strategy, your AI companion.
Yeah, they're really pushing that angle, using metrics like successful session rate, analyzed by AI sentiment, to measure how helpful it is.
And that rate has gone up significantly.
Apparently so. Their focus now is on features like memory, personalization, automation, vision capabilities.
The goal being an AI that really knows you, learns preferences.
Pretty much. Building a deeper relationship, adapting to the user. Mustafa Suleiman's vision. Eventually, maybe as many different co-pilots as there are users.
But with user control over privacy being central.
They emphasize that, yes. It's essential for trust with that level of personalization.
And in the creative space again, Google's VO2 video generator is coming to Gemini Advanced, their answer to Sora.
Seems like it. Puts them in direct competition with OpenAI, Runway, others in AI video.
What can subscribers do with it?
Generate short videos, 8 seconds, 720p, share them, download them with a watermark. There's a monthly limit.
And they plan to integrate it more deeply with Gemini.
Yeah, long-term, combine it with Gemini's understanding of the world. But it also brings those concerns from creators.
About job disruption. Let the animation build steady.
Exactly. These tools are powerful, and the impact on creative industries is a serious conversation that needs to happen.
On a related note, speaking of widespread use, ChatGPT became the most downloaded non-game app in March.
Yeah, surpass Instagram, TikTok for the first time. That's huge.
What drove that? And the ideas?
Maybe upgrades to image generation, maybe changes in moderation, upgraded voice feature. Hard to say for sure.
Or just sheer brand recognition, becoming a verb.
That's likely a massive factor. It implies other chatbots, like Claude maybe, have a tougher climb despite their tech. Maybe Grok gets a boost from Musk's profile. Brand matters.
Fascinating. Okay, so pulling it all together, yeah. What a week. Rapid model improvements, much more integration and accessibility.
Huge infrastructure investments, evolving personalization, ongoing data debates.
It feels like we're seeing both the cutting edge advance incredibly fast and the practical integration into daily life accelerate just as quickly.
Absolutely. The innovation is breathtaking, but so is the effort to make it usable, accessible, and well-funded, and dealing with the consequences.
It really is a dynamic landscape.
Constantly shifting.
So a final thought for our listeners then. Thinking about everything we covered, the models, the tools, the money, the implications, what future AI capability are you most anticipating? And maybe more importantly, what societal shifts do you think might come with it?
That's a great question to chew on. Lots to consider there.
Definitely. And remember, this deep dive was fueled by the sources you shared. Please keep sending them our way. We're always ready for the next exploration into this ever-evolving AI world.